Hey loves, welcome back to my channel. Thank you guys so much for following along on my journey with me. And I had my follow-up appointment with the doctor this week about our IVF cycle and our failed transfer. And so I wanted to share the information with you guys and let you guys know what the doctor said. And so actually the appointment was earlier this week, and we found out that I had no idea. Actually, one or both of our embryos did implant. So when you get a blood test done to check if you're pregnant, what they're checking for is your HCG levels. So if you are not pregnant, then your HCG level will be a 0. Well, my HCG level was a 0.6, which let the doctor know that at some point in time I was pregnant. And so either the embryo implanted and then stopped growing at some point in time. So I don't know. I felt, and on one hand, I felt kind of like a little bit more peace of mind knowing that one of the embryos at least did implant, because it makes me feel as though there are probably no implantation issues with me, which makes me feel a little bit better that, you know, my body actually did something it was supposed to do. But on the other hand, I felt a little bit sad because, of course, I knew I lost my babies already, but it made it a little bit more real because now I know for sure that they were there for some point of time, whether it be a few days. And so that made me kind of feel a little bit sad, but it was good information to have. And like I said, I did not know that prior to meeting with the doctor. So that was one thing we discussed. And then we went step by step from like the beginning of my cycle until transfer, just to kind of determine what could have gone wrong. And so and some of the concerns that the doctor had, which were really good to hear. So the first thing we talked about was me being able to produce enough eggs. And so for me to be 33 years old and I was on a ridiculous amount of hormones and I was on a very aggressive protocol, he said I should have produced way more eggs. I mean, I thought that 16 was a lot, but he would have liked to see me produce way more. So it seemed like in the first week of me stemming, my follicles were not really growing that much. They were just kind of chilling. They were off to a slow start. But then in the second week, it seems like that's when they started growing. But by then, I had been stemming for 14 days already. And you definitely don't want to be stemming for a long period of time because there's so many other risks that can come along with that. So I just kind of had to get whatever I could get out of it. So that was his first concern. Just the concern of me being so young and being on a high protocol like that and still not really producing the amount of eggs that he would have liked for me to see. The second concern he had, he referred to it as conversion. So it's literally just the ability for your embryo to convert into a blastocyst is what it's called, which is a day 5 when they freeze the embryo. So for me to have had 16 eggs retrieved and then 9 of them mature enough to be fertilized, at the end of the whole cycle, I only ended up with 2 embryos. And so that was a concern of his as well, because he usually likes to see patients with a 50% conversion rate. So theoretically, I should have had like 4 or 5 embryos left by day 5 when I only had 2. So that was another concern that we discussed, and we went into detail with that a little bit more of some things that he usually likes to see and just some concerns that he had with me. So that brings me to the third point that we discussed, which was quality. So because the quality of the embryo wasn't that great, that's why we didn't have as many make it to day 5. So that was actually good to hear as well. I mean, it wasn't good to hear, but it was good to know like his concerns. And so just the quality of the embryos just was not good for some reason. So we talked about that a little bit more in detail, and just some things, you know, like he said, he would like to see like 50% of your embryos make it to day 5. Just a few things that he usually likes to see in patients. And so it was all good information. It gave us a little bit of more detail and a little bit of peace of mind as to what, you know, went wrong with our IVF cycle. So I think that was really it. He also gave us the grades of our embryos. So when the embryologist makes your embryo in the lab, they grade the embryo. They give it 2 letter grades. So it's like AA, AB, and then it goes like BB, BC. So one of our embryos was a BB and one was a BC. So I did not know the grade of the embryos before transfer because I didn't want like another thing to worry about. So if I knew that we had like one average and one like okay embryo, then I know it would have worried me. So I'm kind of happy I didn't know ahead of time. But so what that means is the way the doctor explained it. So the first letter is actually the grade of your baby. So you have like an A grade, B grade, C, D, E, and F. I think there's a D and E. I don't know. I know there's an F. But you have grades of the baby. And then the second letter is the grade for implantation. So the higher the letter, the better the chances for implantation. So, you know, obviously you want like A. You want A grades. But he did say that the second letter is more important than the first letter. So you would rather have a B, C grade embryo than a CB grade embryo. Nope, reverse it. You'd rather have a CB grade than a BC because the C in the BC means that there's a less likely chance for implantation than the B in the CB. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. So the second letter is more important than the first letter. So we had a BB and we had a BC. So that was actually good to know as well because I didn't know. You know, I heard about grades of embryos and I read a little bit about it, but I didn't know that much information about it. So that was really good to know as well. So I don't know. I think that's all we talked about. It was really good information. It gives us a little bit more to go on and a little bit more information for us, you know, just to give us a little bit more peace of mind about everything and, you know, what could have went wrong and what we could have possibly done differently for that cycle to be successful. But the meeting was just really good. It was just good to be able to sit down with the doctor and have him take the time to go over, you know, everything with us and put our minds at ease a little bit. So I think that's it. We also did discuss like our next steps for going forward, which I will talk to you guys about in another video. But for now, I'm just really working on healing and working on putting the pieces back together. As you guys know that have been following me for a while, this has been a difficult year. It's been very, very hard for me this year. And this year will definitely go down in history as probably the worst year of my life. So I'm just really just trying to see how to move forward from all of the loss that I've suffered over the last few months and just trying to see what's the best way to move forward from everything and what's the next step. So that's really what I'm working on now. Just trying to kind of enjoy the moment and just, just move forward. So that's really pretty much all that I've been doing so far. I want to thank you guys again for all of your sweet messages and for always checking on me, and I really do appreciate each and every one of you guys. So thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you guys found this information to be useful, and I will catch you guys next time. Thanks. Bye. Yes, I eat chips off the floor. Techie, move. You are really messing things up for me right now. So, for your really airplane. Y'all hear the airplane outside? We live near an airport. Anyway. What the easy? Really? Ow, you messing up my bun and you knocking my papers over.
Did I do that?
Really?
About to go work out. Give me some lips. You look so pretty.
Thanks. My head look big.
Well, you do got a big head. But it don't look big. You look perfectly symmetrical to your body.
I hope tomorrow is better because today is not so good.